We are talking about Lord Ganesha, what he symbolizes in his form and maybe in his physical form, which is devotees worship, the elephant god. And we are talking about the parallels from our world of coaching. Lord Ganesha was born from Shankar and Parvati. Lord Ganesha himself had two wives, Riddhi and Siddhi, which basically represent prosperity and spiritual prowess. He had two sons, Shubha and Labha. Shubha means auspicious, Labha means prosperity and gains. And every time the deities came together, which means the union of two synergistic energies. When these two energies came together, new possibilities, new things were born from that union. When we think about our world of coaching, the leader by himself or the coach by himself or herself cannot produce an outcome which actually becomes possible when these two energies, in the form of the leader and the coach, come together. In my own experience, I'll talk about Shikha Jain, who was my coachee, who's my mentee. And she was at Western Digital for 7 years. She was feeling stagnated and she didn't quite know the path forward. What coaching did for her was open her up to new possibilities and an all new mindset. And she landed a very amazing role in the AI and machine learning space at Apple as a product management leader. Jacquelyn, I would invite you to share what stories do you have to share when you think about the union of these two energies, the coach and the leader.
Yeah. Thank you, Mahesh. It's really wonderful that our book, Becoming Coachable, also is released on Ganesha's birthday
Mhm.
and to celebrate some of these different aspects of who he is. This one, I think, in particular, stands out to me because the coaching relationship really is about unlocking this generative and radical growth that can happen in relationship. But we're not always open to those things. And that's a big part of why we wrote the book, Becoming Coachable, because you can't access that power unless you're open to it. And so the opening line in our book, think is very interesting. The opening line is from Scott, and it says, "I was not always coachable." And so I'd love to hand it over to Scott to talk a little bit about his own journey to being open to those relationships.
Yeah. Thanks, Jacquelyn. So it's true. The opening line of the book is, "I was not always coachable," and I didn't really know, even before this project began, what that meant. The book itself was a project of discovery for me, to be sure. Well, Marshall and I had started the community, the 100 Coaches community, maybe 7 or 8 years ago, and had grown. We had many coaches in it. We were starting to recommend coaches. And I think I probably thought that I had, all, if not most of the answers to what needed to be done. I was fortunate enough to be introduced to Jacquelyn. And over the course of the first year of working together, Jacquelyn, in her own soft way, let it be known that collaboration might be a better path, that if I were open to change and open to more of other people's thoughts, that we could grow beyond the limitations of even my very high expectations for the organization. And once I became open to change, the gates really opened for me and for the organization. And the consequence of being open to change led to my actually finding a coach for the first time, and recognizing that I could expand beyond whatever it is that I know to become much greater than my own self limitations. And I think it's one of the most important takeaways from the book, and one of the most important things about coaching is whatever you think of as being your own possibility, it's always a limitation. And a coach from the outside, or a great collaborator, can help you reach beyond your own limitations to create something much greater.
That's so powerful, Scott. What you did there was opening yourself up, and Jacquelyn was a catalyst here in helping you open yourself up to the path on the path to greatness, and how you were unlocking new possibilities. And I can see that as the 100 Coaches agency thrives with your new vision and you being open to coaching.